welcome back. Happy New Year. Hope you all had a great Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Little Christmas, whatever you celebrate and acknowledge. Okay, so first a couple of housekeeping rules, or not rules, but housekeeping. Since we were having an issue with the internet going out, we'll just sign in physically, and then I'll manually type it in. So if you can write as legibly as possible, and with the attendance sheet going around, they say, ride me on this attendance sheet, y'all. So please, if you're here, please. And what I would like to start doing is once I have this list, I'll type that up, and that way you can just check every week, so you don't have to keep rewriting it every single week, and only new people have to start from the beginning. So we're starting this week fresh, okay? Second thing I wanted to say is I want to make sure that you all are following me on social media if you're on there, because I have made a commitment in 2023 to post regularly. I've never done it before. So 4 to 5 days a week I am posting. I've already done content for the whole month of January and February. So I am on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So you can find me there consistently and get other stuff that we don't get to talk about in class. Also with that, Friday was National Bean Day. Okay, they have these, I say, made up holidays all the time, but anything related to nutrition. So for National Bean Day, I created this lovely little ebook that you can download for free from my website, or if you go to my Instagram or Facebook, there's a link that takes you straight to it, and it has beans as the star of the dish in ways that you may not think of them. And there's some desserts in there too, so it's not all savory, but it's a good thing. It's cool. I put effort into it. I've stepped up production. I stepped up my photography. I welcome feedback. If you like to see something different or better, please tell me, because I'm still learning. I'll be forever a student with that. And the last part of, I guess, the self-promotion, I do a bi-monthly newsletter. So I put the first one out on January 1st. So if you got it, it's because I could read your email address. It was in there, okay? If you would like to see it, it just whatever is going on that month, whatever topic I'm talking about, it goes in more detail about that and put you in the know. And it also let everyone know we're having class today. And I encourage you all to bring your own place settings so we don't have to keep throwing stuff away from single use. But if you forget or don't want to, it's fine. I will have stuff here, but it will be better if you would bring it. And if in the event, some days when we have leftovers, if you want to take leftovers home, if you have a case for that, because I don't usually have leftover containers. So yeah, that's it. That's with that. All right. So what I said before the break, I said this will be our last week officially like in West Africa, and then we'll move to another region, which we'll go into the Southeast Asian region next week. So I'm ending it with a bang for me, and it may not be a bang for you. We're going to see. We're doing Nigerian Egusi Soup with pounded yam. And then for our dessert, which is just, I guess, American or whatever, we're doing a blueberry lemon crisp, because my friend here said you have to have something sweet at every class. So I have to make sure I'm on top of that. Okay, so I always think of that. I always think of her. So I wanted to talk to you all a little bit about what you're going to expect today. The flavor profiles are very distinct. They're not easily repeatable with American ingredients, but you can. It just it won't be authentic, but you totally can. So I have some tips here today that I want us to talk through, and then we'll get started. We're going to get started with the dessert first, because it has to bake, because I know that once you want to eat your savory dish, you're going to want your dessert. So I want to start with that first so it has time to prepare. But I want to kind of talk about certain things. Now, the one thing I did forget today, as prepared as I felt I was pounded, the actual yam that we use. It's about this big. Hey, welcome back. Hey, Ramona. Is the pounded yam. Sitting on my counter at home. Okay, but it's about this big. It looks very similar to yuca or cassava that you find in the grocery stores here. It looks identical, except for like yuca has a little bit of a shininess to it, and this one doesn't. And on the inside, the flesh is white. We use both. So I'm going to talk about the pounded yam first. So when we eat our soups, which I'd say in American English is more like a stew, this is thick, we call them swallows. Hey, Leon. We call them swallows. Why do we call them swallows? Does anybody know? Because we don't chew it. We swallow it. So when we scoop it, we take the pounded yam, we scoop the soup with it. You put it in your mouth, you swallow the whatever it is, if it's eba or pounded fufu, whatever, you swallow that and you chew the soup, okay? So sometimes when the fufu challenge, if people are like on TikTok or Instagram, that was rampant last year, a lot of Americans were doing it and they had no idea they were doing it so wrong. Oh my God, it's a disgrace. And they were chewing it and they're like, this doesn't taste like anything, it doesn't have any flavor. It doesn't have any flavor. So why is it like that? Because like I told you all, most of the soups and stews were naturally vegan, if you want to use that word. It wasn't until after colonization they just threw meat into every single dish now. So just eating a vegetable soup wasn't like enough substance. So you would have the swallow to help you get full, and then you have the nutrients in the soup. So that's how that came about. And so today, is how it goes. So if you're like my husband and likes to chew it and likes the flavor of it, then so be it. But I would like for you all to have the authentic version today and try it. I also just cooked up some brown rice for you all to eat it with in case you're like, hey, I'm just not with it. Okay, it's already prepared. So yeah, and I went ahead and prepared the pounded yam. So side note, I'm going to give a shout out to my parents. So first for my mom, because she's going to be watching this. She bought me this moo for my birthday. I enter a new decade. I'm officially 20 now. And she got me this and this. And she said, I think it'd be great for your cooking class, and it has pockets. I said, okay, thank you, Mom. So thank you, Mom. And for my dad, so for those who don't know, my dad passed away, and he was my best friend. And he would go through the laborious task of making the actual pounded yam and actually pounding it for me and my sister. And since he's passed, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cry. Since he's passed, I just couldn't bring myself to make it until I was doing it for you all. So, yeah, so I made it at home because, and I don't do it the laborious way. I put it in the food processor. Food processor. So basically what you do when you take the yam, you boil it, no salt or anything, just boil it in plain water. And then you can put it in a mortar and pestle and you pound it until it becomes a sticky starch ball. Or you can put it in a food processor and whip it for about 60 seconds. Because I'm talking about a serious workout, and you have to use a very strong. We have a particular house dedicated for fufu and pounded yam, and so that's the other thing. Fufu, if you've heard of that, and pounded yam are not the same. Okay, most people will just say anything you see as a starchy ball as fufu, and it's not. Okay, so just give you a tip. You probably won't remember this, but I had to do my due diligence as a Nigerian, do my proper due diligence. So pounded yam is pounded yam. Fufu is fufu. Fufu is normally made from cassava, and it is different. It has more structure to it, whereas pounded yam is softer, which you'll experience is right here when we taste. There are all different types of swallows made from different root vegetables that are just starch balls that we use to accompany the soups. So today is with pounded yam that I did in the food processor. So we have that, okay?
What's the difference between a yam and a sweet potato? Yeah.
So many differences. So first of all, the yam I'm talking about it's a different species. It's not like the sweet potato. It's a different botanical species altogether. But the West African yam is not related to that at all. And it doesn't have any, it's not sweet. It has really no flavor. I can't remember all the scientific stuff about why they're different, but I just know that they're a different species. They're not even cousins. It's a different plant altogether. So Puna yam is the official name, if you want to put an English name to the West African yam. And what's special about it is that it grows all year round. It's not seasonal. So it grows abundantly, and it comes in handy because it's eaten every day, all day, pretty much. Let me see, did I cover all my points? No, I didn't. So I want to talk about a couple of the ingredients. I'll wait till we get to that recipe. But yeah, I just wanted to start by telling you that I wanted to give a shout out to my daddy for just being an amazing father and teaching me all this stuff. And make sure my mom heard and sees that I have the outfit she got me. Okay. All right. Okay, so like I said, we're going to start with dessert first. We're doing a blueberry lemon crisp. because it's super simple. This is something that you can make where it looks like you're a genius in the kitchen and all you did was assemble. Okay, so I'm gonna wash my hands. So when cooking, I like to try to to use the least amount of dishes as possible. So we're gonna pour the wet ingredients straight into the vessel that we're gonna bake it in. And then the topping we're gonna do here and then put it on here because I have to kind of massage it. So with that, I'm gonna start with a bag of organic blueberries. And I just got these this morning from Walmart. Oh. I should have brought both bags. Okay, well, we're gonna go with that. So, a change for this year, when you go on the website to get the recipes, I was getting feedback that people were not adjusting the serving size. So, you weren't the only one. I got that several times. So, I put the recipe up there for 2 to 4 people, okay? But in class, I'm making it for you all right? So just know that this is all scaled up. And so then the nutrition facts will accompany the scaled down version on the website. So if you can, this is so easy to make for 2. This is a great Valentine's Day dessert. You can put it like cute little mason jars. It's really cute. All right. Is someone on the website to keep me honest? All right, that's perfect. So I'm going to start with I already pre-measured everything. I'm going to start with the topping. Everything here is very low on the glycemic index. These are our sprouted organic oats that we've used before. So I've scaled this up to about a cup. We have shredded coconut. Now, if you're not a coconut fan, you can omit this, okay? You can omit it. But the person I know who hates coconut is not here. I knew she wasn't going to be here, so I said I'm going to add it. All right. We have almond flour, and we have coconut sugar. And then a pinch of salt. All right, and then one thing I'm missing is I'm using virgin coconut oil. So if you do this recipe and you're not a fan of coconut, then use the refined coconut oil that doesn't have the coconut taste to it. Or, yeah, I would still use coconut oil. And then you can omit the dried coconut. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're just gonna, with our hands, just crumble this until it resembles a crumble-like streusel topping or oat topping. It's not an overly sweet dessert. Like I told you, as I've evolved and I got rid of my sugar obsession, I don't like the super sweet things anymore, which, you know, my body doesn't like it either, so it works out. Yep. Okay, I'm just bringing out some of these chunks of coconut sugar, and then we're good. This will get golden brown in the oven. And so with the berries, and you can use whatever berries you like. I just picked blueberry because I figured that was the most non-offensive. Okay. I usually go for raspberries. I know. No. So I picked, frozen because the texture from it going from frozen to baked, it makes it more like a pie filling versus when you do it with the fresh blueberries. It still tastes great. It's just a texture thing. So you can choose which one you prefer. All right. So now we're going to zest these lemons. These are organic lemons. I've already washed them before class. We're going to zest these right into it. If you don't have this thing called a microplane, your life will totally level up. by investing in one. I'm not sponsored, but they can call me. Yeah. So all the volatile oils comes out in the zest. That's what makes lemon taste like lemon. So now all the vitamin C that's in here, once it's heated, vitamin C is very heat sensitive. So all the vitamin C you think you're getting, if it's not raw, it's not doing all that much. That's why, taking the synthetic form of vitamin C over the counter doesn't do as much either. You need to really consume it naturally. All right, I think that's good enough. Can y'all smell that? Okay. Oh, you can. All right. So I'm going to just quarter these. So I don't know if you're aware, just like a little kitchen hack, if you're not going to use a juicer to juice the lemon, like the little juicer thing I have over there, to get the most juice out of them, you should quarter them. They did like a, what's those guys that used to be on the Science Network that would like experiment? Mythbusters, yeah. They did like a food version, Mythbusters, of it, and found out you get like 50% more juice by quartering it. So something to consider. Who knows how to get juice out of a lemon that's not so juicy? Huh? You said microwave? Well, if you use Chef Mike, yes, it does get, yes, rolling it. But you can use, put a fork in it and then use your arm muscles and squeeze it and you'll get a lot more out.
Just stick a fork in any?
Mm-hmm. For the ones that aren't juicy. Ooh, I meant to catch that. Put some seeds in there. Apparently I couldn't multitask on that one. Yep, that's a good tip. So this is the most labor intensive part, and you don't even have to do this. You can, if you choose to buy your lemon juice, then you can do that. It doesn't have the same flavor, but the most labor intensive part is juicing it. And again, you could just do that, all right? Very easily. And the crisp is like a cheat, so you don't have to do a full cobbler or pie, but get the essence of it.
Would that be good with apples?
Excellent with apples. Actually, blueberry and apple together are great. Yep. It's a very good combination. But I think it's best with the making sure berries are in it so you get that kind of pie filling texture, whereas apples don't really do that so much. It kind of gets applesaucey a little bit. So it gives a lot of juice. That's more juice than I need. So I use this as a strainer, catch the seeds. There we go. All right, just put this to the side. We're already more than halfway through. What else I need to put on here? All right, so I already portioned that out. This is our natural thickening agent. So if you use tapioca powder, it is the same as the pounded yam if you're doing like cassava root. Cassava root is tapioca starch if you weren't aware. So this is going to make sure we have that pie-like filling. You can use tapioca or arrowroot, whichever you prefer. Just don't use cornstarch. It is genetically modified. I've never seen cornstarch that's not genetically modified in the grocery store. So if you happen to see one, let me know. And maple syrup. So I ran out of my good maple syrup, so I just used agave. I'm just going to use agave. It's supposed to be 1/3 of a cup of agave. For you all, not, it would be like a tablespoon or two if you're making it for yourself. For the masses here, it'll be 1/3 of a cup. Try to get the rest of that out. Okay, and just give this a mix so that the arrowroot flour is dissolved. I don't know if y'all can see that. Okay, such a pretty color. I don't know if y'all noticed that I'm partial to purple. Yeah, okay. It's already getting thick. I don't know if y'all can see that. Am I in the camera? Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. So now we just assemble this on top of it. And you'll know it's done because one, you'll smell it, and then you'll see the blueberry juice like bubbling around the corners, peeking through. Yep. And that's it. You just let it bake. So it's great for like a quick little dinner party or something like that. I don't want to put too much. Well, go ahead and put the rest. So don't waste it. Yep, that's it. And then we're going to just bake it. Somebody set their timer for 45 minutes. Somebody on top of that today? Or is it, I need to get my phone out. Set it. Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right. So now we're on to the main event. Back to the lecture. All right. So that took no time, no effort. So I love it. Okay. So our ingredients for the egusi. Y'all starting off with low energy. Y'all didn't eat before y'all came? You know you're supposed to have a snack before you come in here. Okay. So we're starting off. The main thing is does anyone have an idea why it's called Egusi Soup? The question should be, what's egusi? Huh? Mm-mm. Nope. Nope.
Looks like the bowl looks like an egg, so that you use it for egg.
Mm-mm. So the white ball is the pounded yam. Yep. So egusi are seeds from an African melon that's in the watermelon family. It doesn't look like a watermelon. It's just in the same botanical species as watermelon. It's the seeds from that. So if the carving pumpkins that people do at Halloween, those white, the egusi seeds look very much like that. So if you don't go to an African market to get egusi seeds, then the closest replica that you could do is using pepitas, raw, unsalted pepitas to do the same thing. Pumpkin seeds, the green ones, not the ones in like the carving kind. Okay, so let me take this off so y'all can see. So you just take the seeds, and all I did this morning was just grind them up.
What do they look like whole?
Just like the pumpkin seeds you carve from a carving pumpkin.
Okay.
Yep. Just like that. And you can buy them, if you go to the African market, you can buy them already pre-ground, or you can buy the seeds and ground them yourself, which of course that's what I prefer to do because it's just fresher like that. So that's why the soup is based off of this. So if you don't like the taste of these seeds, then you may not like the taste of the soup because that's what it's based upon. And we make this into a paste, and it kind of cooks up like a dumpling-like in the stew, and then you break it apart, and that's what gives it its color. All right, so that's that first odd ingredient. Our meat substitute, now you can do this completely meatless, but you know, I'm aware of my audience. So we've got chicken. No. I had to wake y'all up. Okay, all right. So you don't have to, I just choose to already just boil this because I've been having a harder time finding the jackfruit that's in water. So the one that's in brine, I prefer to boil it to get the briny taste off of it. So I didn't think you all needed to watch that boil. So I went ahead and took that little liberty and did that, okay? And then the other liberty I took, because you've all seen me do it 3 times now. We did it for the moi moi, we did it for the ewa riro, and we did it for something else. It is our classic West African stew base. What's in this? Pop quiz. Tomatoes. Red bell pepper. I didn't put the hot pepper because of y'all. Okay. No, red onion. So that's the quote unquote holy trinity, right? And then I added in the Maggi cubes and I omitted the Scotch bonnet for you all. So it makes it unauthentic that way, but it's okay. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I went ahead and did it. Same thing you see me do. It's the exact stew base. Because I told you we use that for almost everything. Rice, pasta, everything is going to be that. Okay, and then typically we use African spinach, okazi leaves, ugu, bitter leaf as our greens in it. It's not here. If you go to the African market, they sell it dried or frozen, and you just reconstitute it. And it has a very strong, pungent flavor that I wasn't sure that y'all were ready for. So the equivalent is kale or spinach. So we've got that frozen in the freezer, and we're going to use that. So I want y'all to still be with me a little bit, okay? Okay. Some thyme, because we always use thyme, you know that. And the red palm oil. We've talked about this ad nauseum. And some bouillon.
Good question. Where do you get the palm oil you say again?
I get, so this is a fancy, expensive one. I get this from Organic Marketplace, but I normally get the African ones. This is the one from Ecuador. So South American or West African palm oil is the kind that's done locally. It's not adding to the environmental crisis. I go to African markets and I buy the big tubs of palm oil, but I didn't want to lug that in.
When I was in Houston, they only sold that red kind of whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what I have.
Oh,
But I didn't want to bring in,
okay.
I get the big one because,
Okay.
and so just for,
Because I remember seeing yours, and I was like, well, that's different than what she had. So,
I think you were gone that week when I brought in the other kind 1 week so y'all could see both the Ecuadorian and the Nigerian one. And yeah, but that's one I actually use, but this is just easier for traveling purposes. All right, and so here's an ingredient I want to pass around. Now this is something that if you don't go to the African market, you're not going to find it, and you can totally omit it if you also choose to do this at home, okay? This is called iru in Yoruba, in Nigeria, or dawa dawa in Ghana. This is fermented locust bean. It is a staple. It is a locust bean that has been fermented and sun-dried. So it has the taste and smell of chocolate, cheese, and I'm just going to let you all smell it for yourselves. We use this for umami. So in Asian cuisine, we use miso for the umami, because the glutamates in it give it its umami. The glutamates in this gives it its umami, and we can use it for sweet or savory applications. And it's in most West African dishes. It's a very unique smell. Yep. Yes. Now some of these places so Super G, they have half an African owl. They're not consistently having that. And a Compare Foods, it's it leans Hispanic. They haven't consistently have it. Every African market is going to have your Egusi and your iru. Every single one. It's just automatic. Get back to my
it smells like a stank chocolate.
yeah.
Real dark chocolate. Yeah.
But a cheesy miso-y flavor because it's fermented. And what is fermentation? What does that mean for us when we eat fermented foods?
Digestion.
It's good for your digestion because why? Because fermented foods are the probiotics. Yes. Yes, it is. It's an ingredient that if it's not there, you know it's missing. But you can omit it. I'm just talking about, I'm trying to do it as authentically as possible minus the spice. That was my objective today, as authentically as possible without the spice. So the natural locust beans, they're boiled and then they ferment them most of the time underground and then they let them sun dry. and that's how you get that. And it's a staple condiment used for everything. So just think of how we use miso paste or how we use nutritional yeast as our, yeah, it's the same concept.
So you can use that in place of the nutritional yeast?
I'm not saying that.
Oh, okay.
Because we use nutritional yeast a lot of times to do like cheese replacements or just to add that umami as a supporting background. This is a very distinct flavor, so you want to have a familiarity with how to use the ingredient, because most West African dishes it'll lend itself to make it better. I don't know for American dishes, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. I say it will work on some for sure. I just can't think of any right now. It's super high in antioxidants. It treats hypertension, and its main claim to fame is that it relieves diarrhea. So if you're having digestive issues, and that's because of the antioxidants and the fermentation process, it treats diarrhea. So when people have diarrhea, they will just eat the eru or the locust beans, and diarrhea is gone. Why? Because it's feeding that gut bacteria that it needs to heal it. So it's really, really good. All right, so there's one topic I wanted to kind of talk to you all about, and it's eating with your hands. How do y'all feel about eating with your hands? You're fine? You do it every day? Oh, you would? I always hear mixed signals about eating with your hands. So a lot of times in Asian countries or African countries, you will see us eating with our hands, and then it's frowned upon as if we're not civilized, and you're supposed to use a utensil, and it's like, no, there's science behind this. So I just wanted to just share this with you all so you have perspective, because it seems, from my perspective, growing up here, eating with your hands was frowned upon unless it was pizza or a taco. Okay, so other than that, it seems to be frowned upon. So there are 6 scientifically proven, because everything we talk about here is evidence-based. It's never any's personal opinion, okay, because that's a whole other class, okay? Always backed up by science. So there are 6 things that have been internationally agreed upon why there's benefits of eating with your hands. So the first thing, where does digestion begin? Hey, Leslie. Where does digestion begin? Before that. Before that. You're so close. You're like, you nailed it. You get a 99.999. So digestion begins with our thoughts, then our smell, then our mouth. So you see food, like you all hear, you see me talking about food, you're already thinking about it, right? So you're getting prepared. You're smelling it, right? And then what happens? Your mouth begins to salivate. The salivation is the generation of the enzymes to start to break down the food. That also is turned on your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest nervous system, and that helps you digest. So if you are angry, if you have any extreme emotion, you should not be eating, okay? Don't eat when you're upset. Don't eat when you're lonely. Don't eat when you're depressed. Your digestion will not be optimal, okay? You have to eat when you are calm and relaxed. Rest and digest, okay? That's proven science. I got off the point, but that's proven science-wise. But once you start to salivate, then your brain's also sending signals to your pancreas to start producing insulin, and to your stomach to start producing the acids to break down the food, because it knows it's coming. It smells it. You're thinking about it. You're salivating. All that's happening. So when that's happening through our nerve ends in our hands, that's another point of stimulating those digestive enzymes in our small intestines, where you actually absorb your food, the microvilli in your small intestines. So when you touch it with your hands, it stimulates those nerves in the small intestine. So that's the first one. Also, with our hands, we can feel the temperature of the food. We can feel the texture of the food, the softness of the food, and you can also feel the spiciness of the food through your hands, your nerve ends in your hands. So that's point 1 for benefits of eating with your hand. 2, healthy bacteria is on the palm and fingers of your hands. So you're like, because our bodies are mainly bacteria. So bacteria is not bad. We just don't want the nasty ones. Okay, that's why you don't want to take antibiotics, because it just wipes out everything. All right, good, bad, ugly. So you want the good stuff. We got the good stuff on our clean hands. Okay, I'm not saying go use the bathroom then go eat. I'm not saying that. All right, with our clean hands. Okay, so the bacteria that's on our hands, that's the good stuff that helps us with our digestion on our hands. When you put the food pick it up with your mouth and put it in your mouth, it transfers and you're swallowing it and gets right into your stomach. Okay, so that helps us protect us from harmful microbes that could be present in whatever environment that we're in. It helps to reduce type 2 diabetes. And you're like, okay, that's a stretch. Any ideas why it can help reduce type 2 diabetes by eating with your hands? They just concluded, this is the third time they've done this. This is now from the Journal of Clinical Nutrition. They just finished another study where by eating with your hands, it causes you to eat more slowly. You're not just shoveling food down your throat, right? And so when you eat more slowly, you can't peak as much, okay? So that is a great thing. So eating food faster causes your blood sugar to be imbalanced. And so when we're using these utensils, people are just shoveling as fast as they can, okay? We don't want to do that. All right, next, our hands are perfectly designed for different types of food. We can literally pick up 1 grain of rice and then we could hold a water bottle, right? We could scoop up water. We can pick things apart, pick it off a tree. We can peel it. We can break it. I mean, our hands can do every single thing. No utensil can do that, all right? Because these are our utensils. We eat a lot less and are a lot more satisfied when we eat with our hands because you're more engaged, you're more present with the food because you have to be. You can't just mindlessly eat when you're eating with your hands, eating with utensils, excuse me, you know what I'm saying. And then lastly, we're more conscious of the eating process. We feel the food is, because more of our senses are involved when we're using our hands, and we're more aware of the bite size because we're not going to put huge chunks of food in our mouth. So when you're taking the pounded yam, if you're using like a fork or something, you're going to pick up a lot more than you would with your hand, especially if you're not going to chew and you swallow, right? You're going to take a smaller portion size. It's a natural portion control to conclude all that. So I don't know if you ever thought about all that before, but that is the benefits of eating with your hands, your clean hands. Okay, don't come back and say, okay. So yeah, and so I'm not. Oh, okay. Everyone love it? Yeah. Just think about anything that's fermented. I mean, think about what sauerkraut. Does that smell great? I think this smells a little better than sauerkraut, personally. You know. And kimchi, yeah, all the things that are fermented are not going to smell amazing, but you should want it to smell amazing because it's good for us, right? So I think that has a little bit of a sweetness to it. It's just interesting. It has layers. It has complexity. So that's why we like it. So you have a new experience today. So visit your local African market. In Charlotte, there are many African markets. Like there's 2 right here off of Sugar Creek, right? Very close to each other. Very, very close to each other. Less than a mile from here. Yeah. So just to conclude, so we eat with our hands. So today, of course, you have forks or spoons in front of you. Like I said, I brought the rice so that if it's just too much of a stretch, I get it, right? But I just want you to try it. And so if you ever hear or see somebody kind of frowning upon somebody eating with their hands, unless they're dirty, okay, you can give them some of these tips that you just learned today, right? Yeah? Yeah.
Do your culture have the bread like the Ethiopians, the injera, where you just put everything on the bread and just tear?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not a special bread. It's just bread. And whatever bread you make, you use that. You just tear it in bread. But we're not heavy on bread. It's more the swallows. It's always accompanied by the swallow in lieu of the bread. But if we're not eating a soup dish, then it will be a bread with it or a plantain. It's always some type of starch. It's very starch heavy because all the Centurion regions are starch-based diets. If they consume any animal product, it's 10% or less. It's 5 to 10% of their overall diet. Meaning what? Because you're not supposed to eat dead animals on a daily basis by any stretch. We're not designed for that. We are designed as frugivores. We're not even herbivores. We don't have 4 stomachs to break down grass and hay and straw, okay? We are frugivores. That's why we have flat teeth. That's why we have super long digestive tracts. But we eat things that are not natural to our bodies, and our bodies, because they're so intelligently designed, they deal with it. But over time, they're like, hey, I need a break, okay? I need a break. And then you'll start having like all these other problems that start popping up. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah. Oh, let me pass this around too. And whoever wants it, y'all can keep it. I just wanted to show y'all that. Okay, so with that, are there any questions on the ingredients or eating with your hands or any new perspective before we get cooking?
I'm
Anything?
worried about the bread. I mean, but what?
A lot of times you're going to see them eating white bread with it.
Okay.
It's not like a injera that's made from teff. They like to eat the whole grain itself. So we'll eat the teff, we'll eat the fonio. Fonio is huge, or what you call acha. They'll eat the whole grain.
Okay.
But it's mainly swallows, whole grains, and plantain are staples. And then as they become more and more westernized, they have bread with it, and the bread tends to be white bread. Like, not like Wonder Wheat bread, but like baked loaves of bread like that. And it just, yeah, to sop stuff up with. Any other questions or comments before we move on? Yeah.
You're using the coconut sugar in the dish that you're cooking.
Yeah.
I've been doing some research on that. Trying to find sweeteners that do not elevate the glycemic level.
Yep.
Coconut sugar's okay, but I hear that monk fruit sweetener is better. Any comments on that?
They're both very low on the glycemic index.
Okay.
I like monk fruit. It was an acquired taste because it was similar to like a stevia. It tastes more like that because it's coming straight from the fruit, whereas this is coming straight from the coconut. So if you're ultra concerned about monk fruit is lower than coconut sugar, but overall it's still low on the GI index. So it's more about the application, the texture, and the taste you're trying to achieve. Because I was going for more of a caramelly topping type vibe, coconut sugar fits that. Monk fruit,
It's more like brown sugar.
yeah, it's more like brown sugar.
Yeah, monk fruit is more like stevia.
Yeah, and I like monk fruit more like in a smoothie type application. I like it like that, or in the, sometimes certain ice creams, or like drizzle on if I was doing like a waffle, something like that, in lieu of like maple syrup, to use that, the monk fruit sweetener.
Well, one thing that put me off a little bit is it's got a chemical in it. I think it's supposed to be
Which one?
the monk fruit. Everything I've ever seen is monk fruit. Is that a natural?
So you're talking about erythritol?
Thank you.
Yes, that's a natural sugar alcohol.
So it's okay.
I'm saying our bodies
You can't find it without it.
our bodies know how to process because it's a natural sugar alcohol.
Okay.
So, and that's the thing that makes it taste like a stevia kind of. That's what you're tasting, and that's why for me it was an acquired taste because I just want it to just be straightforward, and I had to acquire that taste.
But it's normal for it to have it in there. It's not an additive, right?
It's normal.
Okay.
It is normal. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Y'all had good questions today. Okay. All right. Let's see if our stove will cooperate today. I brought my other one as a backup in case it wants to do what it does sometimes. Rinse this off. Okay. All right, who's following along that can keep me honest? All right. So I'm gonna start with the prep. A lot of the prep I already did. So I'm starting with the palm oil. I'm just gonna let this melt. Yes, the beta carotene. And you have to make sure the heat is on low. It burns very quickly. It's a medium heat oil. Okay, so it will burn quickly. And Egusi seeds burn very quickly. So that's why on the website I listed as an intermediate recipe because it's not one you just, if you've never done it where you just walk away from it, you come it will be burnt. I promise you it will be burnt. You have to kind of know, you have to be familiar. All right, I've already ground the Egusi seeds. I've already ground the nori sheets. You've already seen me do that before, so I was like, y'all don't need to see me do that again. I ground the nori sheets already. I took the iru and I just took a teaspoon of it and I ground it already. Okay, so I didn't think you needed to watch that. You smelled that. Okay, and what else? The extra onion, I already used it, so we just have to go without the extra part of the onion. So normally you quarter the onion, you take one of the quarters of the onion, you dice that up, and when the olive oil, when the palm oil is melting, you let the onion fry in that. We like lots of onions and everything. So we're just omitting that part because I didn't bring it. Okay, I've already boiled the jackfruit, and again, I only did it because it's the one in brine, not in water, and I just don't like that briny taste to it for this. So as soon as this is melted, I'm going to add the iru. What is iru again? Okay. All right, so y'all still semi with me. I gotta check in with you all. I have to keep checking in. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and add in the tomato pepper blend. All right. And just to assure you all, there's no pepper in this whatsoever. None. I protest too, but I care about the overall experience. I don't want you all sweating, huh? No, I want to get the rest of it out. Thank you, babe.
One
That's
day
so
you
good.
gotta go to 100%. Second grade.
Oh, he wants that. Oh, I could. That's a good idea, Kimberly.
Thank
Thank you. That's a great idea. See, you all say these great ideas, and then it seems so obvious, but it never crossed my mind. So I'm grateful to you all for that. All right, so we're just let this kind of cook for a second. And why is that? Why do you think we're just letting this cook for a second? Well, meld the flavors because we have raw onion in here, raw everything. So it's not supposed to be a dominant flavor. So it's supposed to kind of be harmonious. So they're just making friends with each other. We'll let them do that. Okay, and so while that's happening, we're going to go ahead and make the paste, the egusi paste. So if you watch Nigerian YouTube, because that's the thing, there's I don't know if y'all heard of Nollywood. Are y'all familiar with Nollywood? Nollywood is Nigerian Hollywood. It's like the third largest in the world, really. It's like a big deal. So you have Hollywood, you have Bollywood, which is Indian, right? And then you've got Nollywood, which is Nigeria. It's a real thing. So yeah, this part is personal. I think it's based on how your mother or whoever prepared your egusi for you as a child did it. So some people make it very watery, and some people make it thick like a paste. Okay? Neither way is right or wrong. It's personal preference. I like it thick. So that's how I'm going to share it with you guys today. Let me just rinse this out. Okay. And there's really nothing to it. We're just simply, so this is 1 3/4 cups of ground egusi seeds. And this is a cup of water. I'm gonna make it a little bit thinner for y'all, but I normally do it quite thick. And it just swells up. I don't know if y'all can see. Let me come over here. Am I in the camera? Okay. All right. And you just make a paste. No salt, no anything. You're supposed to experience the taste of the actual seed. So like I said, if you don't like the taste of the seed, you won't like the soup. But when people say, what's my favorite dish? It's always a toss-up between egusi soup and jollof rice with plantain. It's very, very hard for me to decide. So, all right. This is a lot thinner than I would actually prefer it to be. So, we can tell that this is good enough because the oil has come to the top. So if you watch any kind of like Nollywood cooking stuff, that's how you always tell with the red palm oil. When it rises to the top, whatever you cook below it has cooked enough for you to move on. That's your signal. Okay, so with that, we're going to add our chicken. Okay. Get that stewing. All right. All right. So let that have a nice time in there. Just swim and hang out. And this is all going to melt together. I'm going to go ahead and do this all together. I'm going to go ahead and add some thyme. Why do they make these holes so small? It just doesn't make sense. She said it, I didn't. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add in our nori sheets too. I know I put it towards the end. It really doesn't matter. And our bouillon. So on the directions you will see add in water if needed. That is because some people like their soup to be soupy, which is not traditional, but or they like it thick. So if you want it more liquidy, then you add in the water. And then if you don't, you don't. It's your choice. So I'm using the no chicken bouillon. Oops.
Did you use the Maggi?
Yeah, the Maggie's in the pepper sauce. Okay. Jackie asked, okay. Maggie's in the pepper sauce. All right, so I'm gonna give this a good stir. And then we're gonna layer in the egusi on top. And we're gonna let it basically like bake on top. And I will be watching it because, like I said, it can burn very easily. And that's not an experience you really want to have. Did I miss anything from the recipe? I don't think so. I'm only asking because I have to do this modified version for you all. I'm not used to it. The spinach comes in at the end because, you know, we want our greens to be green when we eat them. Okay. All right. All right, so I'm going to put the lid on this. And we're going to let this bake for a second. Oh, it's over here. Make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, so 10 minutes. What time is it? Okay. Yeah, where are we? 15. Okay. We're almost there with that. Oh, that smells good. Okay. So, for over your holiday break, what from when we left, you all said some things that you are going to implement in terms of changing health behaviors. What did you all end up doing? Did any of it come to fruition? Yeah, Kimberly?
That granola, baby.
The granola. For those of you all who weren't here, the granola was soaked sunflower seeds with dates and cinnamon, with apples that have been pulsed like rice, and you mix it together, and it's an awesome breakfast or snack or whatever you like. Okay, so you did that. That's great. Okay. That's awesome. You made the kale. What? Wow. You massaged it too?
Yeah, it's pretty cool how it changes.
Transforms.
You know?
It is. It just comes back to life, it seems.
I shared some with someone and they asked if I had sauteed the kale in the salad because it was so tender. You know?
Now you know the inside trick. Yep. That's awesome. Anybody else?
Nigerian stew beans.
Oh yeah, you.
That is just absolutely fabulous. That is my favorite.
It's called Awa Riro. Awa means beans, Riro means stirred. So they're Nigerian stewed beans. So
That's on your blog.
And you start off with the same tomato base as here, the same one. Basically, you cook the beans in that stewed base. Pretty straightforward. Yep, it's on the website under recipes.
When I did the stew, we didn't have the palm oil, and it didn't make a difference in the taste. So I said, this don't taste like herbs.
Yeah.
Palm oil does have a distinct flavor and taste and smell. The closest replica is coconut oil. It really is its own kind of thing.
I mean, this booklet, is this on the site?
Huh?
So we could download it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's a free. So whoever wants to keep it can keep it. But it's a free download. I was just wanting to show you all.
So which on your Naija, I mean, the goddess one?
This on the website. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you go to like Facebook or Instagram, there's a link that takes you straight to it. But if you go to the website, it's a drop down under blog. It'll say free bean ebook or something like that. It's easy to find.
Since we got a few minutes, I want to share something with the group if you don't mind.
Please.
Friday night, I got a link from a friend of mine. The name of it was a Zoom meeting. It was called the Plant Reset. And it was 900 people on this website, on this Zoom. It reminded me so much of Annie, that she is the one. Because after watching that thing, this young lady and her daughter don't have anything on this young lady here. And we have a jewel.
Yes.
This website, I got it free this time, but this particular group is selling time. They have a class once a week, but you have to pay for it. And look at what we getting free. So we need to let the Arts and Science Council know that we need this young lady to keep this class going. So,
Jackie, thank you.
let's write these people, write the people. I couldn't find the address. I done something with the address, so I'll have it next week. For those that didn't get a copy of the address where we need to write, and let them know they need to keep funding this for us.
And I didn't pay her to say that, y'all. I had no idea. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you very much. I'm always super humbled because this is, like I said, this class is really for my dad, and how it changed my life too, and how it changed his life. And so anything I can do that could help somebody else, I want the information out there. I really just want it out there. And if that means that you all, even if you don't go vegan, even if you have one meal a day without animals in it, but it's healthy, not Twizzlers, okay? That makes a big difference. Those incremental changes do add up over time, and that's really what we're hoping for with this class, just to pass on the love and the knowledge. So I'm indebted to you all. Y'all keep showing up, so I appreciate it. And so let's see how y'all think about today. I get so nervous for every class, and my husband I stress. I stress. I'm like, I'm taking them all the way to Nigeria today. Okay? I don't know how it's gonna go.
But think of it this way. I think especially a lot of times because we have been exposed to a lot of different herbs and ingredients, it's broadening our
Okay.
our education. So don't be afraid from giving it to us because it makes us now say, oh wow, I didn't know I could do this with that.
Okay.
Now this is even better. So it's a great education. It broadens our ability really to know how to cook things in different ways and enjoy really different cultures that we might have never thought about that we would, but it's delicious.
Okay.
And healthier. That's a big
Y'all don't know how much y'all helped me. Seriously, like it's a two-way street. This is not a one-way. It's definitely a two-way street because I cry all the time. You all are so kind, and it just touches me so deeply. So I'm truly grateful. Okay, I think it's been about 10 minutes. Yeah. No. 3 more minutes. Okay.
I was in the Thai soup class before I came here,
Oh, okay.
and myself and my boy back here. And so they said, where you going? We're going to the cooking class. Tell them about your class. I said, how great it is. They said, oh yeah, we don't want to check that out. I said, absolutely. They said, the food is on the point.
I hope you still feel that way today. Thank you, Leon. That means the world.
I don't know if everybody was like me, but when I grew up, vegetable soup was like stewed beef soup with a little bit of vegetable soup.
Yeah.
Right? My mom makes vegetable soup, it ain't vegetable soup.
Some sprinkled vegetables in there. Anybody else do anything healthy over the holiday break?
Well, I was gonna say beside my beans, but I'm gonna just piggyback off of what everyone else has said. You know, because we're trying to do better, and when you get the education and you're able to apply it, you know, because when you first start saying, I'm not gonna eat meat anymore, and then you go to Beyond Burger and stuff, and then you get stuck. You're like, what's next? But now you give us this whole plethora of different things to taste, to make decisions whether we like it and what we can do to enhance it and to incorporate in our lifestyle. And for like me, tell everybody I know. They be tired of me. But you know, so I thank you for all that.
Thank you, Karen. That's very kind. Thank you.
I've implemented, I didn't even realize that doing more with vegetables, like, you know, comes to my half the plate. I'm telling on myself, today I was lazy before getting here, and I was feeding my mom. I just did a quick stir fry. We're not having any vegetables today? So it's become so part of how we eat.
That is awesome. That's awesome, man. Yes, Jackie?
I also want the thing about the eating with your fingers, I have some dear friends that's here, living here now from Ethiopia and Eritrea. And when they came around and I went to their house for the first time, I was shocked. I said, what? Eating like that? But now it all makes sense. That's why I was asking you if you all did a special kind of bread.
No, not like the injera, no.
Okay.
But the communal eating, like we will have when we sit down to eat, like with fufu or something, we have a bowl full of water and everyone has their own bowl of water. So you can dip your hands to rinse them off. You come with clean hands, you eat together, and it's a whole different experience than just sitting and when you're eating. It's a totally different experience. So I hope that you all, will, at least I know that you all would appreciate it. So let's hope that you all like it. And just, like I said, we're going to try it the right way. The first swallow is to just swallow and then chew the soup. Try to do that. And then if you want to try it all together, you can do that too. Yeah, so.
Do you all have any special, the coffee?
They do. We do. I just don't drink them. I'm not a coffee person. Because, anybody recall why I personally choose not to drink coffee? It is dehydrated. It's a natural diuretic, yes, but the main reason is what? It eliminates what? Your B vitamin complex. So a lot of people get up and they drink their coffee for their energy, right? Because B complex, that set of vitamins gives you energy. Thank you, babe. Gives you energy. And then that's why you end up crashing, right? Around 2 o'clock, right? Because you drink the coffee, your B vitamin, and those are water soluble. So if you've peed a couple of times throughout the day, it's gone. Now you've crashed. And then you're getting another cup of coffee and then that cycle continues, right? So I tell my coffee lovers that if you're going to drink the coffee, don't drink like some people are like, oh, I had my morning smoothie and I had all the good stuff in it, and then I had my coffee, because I got my good stuff in. Well, you just eliminated the good stuff because you just killed the B complex from that. So do it the reverse. Drink your coffee if you're going to drink it. Hopefully it's not with dairy milk and a bunch of processed sugar. Hopefully it's not that. But even if it is, drink that first, let at least 2 hours pass, and then put the goodness in you, and you shouldn't have that crash, and your B complex can be somewhat put back into you. So I love this, and even before I knew all that, I love the smell of coffee, hated the taste, and I was the one that put tons of sugar and milk in it, so it wasn't even coffee at that point. Yeah, let's see. Oh, I think we're good there. And let's see how we're looking here. Oops. See, I put my hair up so I wouldn't, hashtag long hair problems, as my sister would say. All right, so I'll just incorporate this. So we'll get to eat at the same time. Oops. Here, want to show them? Y'all can see how it's bubbling around the edges.
It's open. It's open now.
Would you grab two?
Yeah, that one's going to be the cream of the cream.
Then we're gonna see if they get some water.
So what now?
I'm gonna take this one, put some water. You want to serve first?
Oh yeah, let me get the water first. Okay. Can I answer your question? Order in the court. Order in the court. I'm going to go ahead and add in the spinach, in case anybody's wondering, so that can kind of steam and defrost and do its thing. I put the extra ones there. Did I come back in here? It's blueberry lemon, just to mimic this. It's a good compliment, yeah. I love that, Karen, I really do. Yes? It's like the crisp. I was just mimicking that. That's all. I put in spinach, frozen spinach, but you can also use kale. Huh? This? This is for when we do the egusi, so y'all can clean your hands. Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's nice, like
I'm glad y'all like it. Well, then you'll like this. It's the same flavors. I'm so glad y'all like it. Y'all don't even know. Ooh. Okay. Hope you like it, Leon. I hope I don't disappoint you today. I really do. But if I do, then I'll get you next week. I know everyone will like next week. Okay. All right.
I love soup.
Oh.
Everybody likes soup. I'll have soup for dinner.
I will make a soup next week. I'll make a soup. I love soup. Okay, I'll make a soup next week. Okay. Yep, that'll be our non-Indian component next week. Okay. All right. Everyone seems to, if you like the water, you probably like this because it's the same flavor as blueberry lemon. So I'm glad y'all like that. And just remember we talked about before, you said people were saying they don't know seasonings. I said it's flavor profiles. So blueberries and lemons are always happy together, you know, in the pastry world. And in the tea world. That's true. That's true. Okay, so what I think we should do to get you all prepared, because we're almost done here. This is done, so we're going to get to eat everything all at once. I think somebody said, I want to eat mine as a meal. Okay, so you're going to have to experience that today. So I think first we're going to, when my husband's finished with the water, we're going to go around and serve everybody some pounded yam. Don't eat it yet, okay? All right. And then some rice, so that you have the option, so that you already have it on your plate. And then by the time that's served, we probably should be done with this. We'll serve this. You'll eat it, give me your feedback that you're fully in Nigeria instead of our toe touching it. And then if you do or don't like it, we're going to follow up and end it with something sweet. Okay? We're good with that approach? We're going to serve the pounded yam. And will somebody come and help my husband serve the rice? Oh, thank you. Okay. I appreciate your help. So you go ahead. All right, so you can use this to serve the pounded yam. And then she, yeah, it's enough for everyone to get a piece. And then she'll serve the rice with this. I'm gonna get you a Mac, I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Okay. Over here. Okay.
All right, who wants to ride?
I'm gonna take some rice because I just love rice.
Yeah. Well, because everybody won't have enough pounded yam to eat a whole portion with the soup portion, so everyone probably should get some rice, so you have enough. Huh? Now, that's, yeah, yes. So you can have the experience, okay. Pounded yam. So it's a big tuber that looks like a big cassava root that you see, and you just boil it, and then, like I said, I just put it in a food processor, and it turns into the ball rather than use.
We're supposed to do what?
Okay, I'm gonna recap when everyone gets it. We're gonna do it together. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna do it with you all. Do it with you all. I have my own.
What's the story on rices? I know you said you prefer us brown rice.
Correct.
But I see you use brown rice. Brown rice is all right?
Anything's better than white rice because white rice has no nutrition. Yeah, because brown rice, at least everything's intact. You're getting some kind of nutrition there.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a little less than one serving. If you were sitting down to eat a bowl of Egusi Soup, it would be a little bit bigger than this.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's just like the filler.
Correct. Correct. That's why you typically just swallow. And the thing about this, so for all those keto people in here, hey, can y'all hear me? Y'all still hear me? All right. So, and the obesity problem is rampant, like in Western modern countries, and they want to say carbs are the devil, right? But every other civilization that does not have the obesity problem, they eat carbs, but it's not processed carbs. It's from the earth carbs, right? This carb here, and so it's whatever you choose. I'm just giving you some knowledge on this. This carb here is full of resistant starch. Is anyone familiar with resistant starch and what that does? Resistant starch. It's like if you cook a potato and then let it cool off, and then you eat it instead of eating it when it's when it's first out and hot. It forms resistant starch. Resistant starch, your body doesn't digest that. It pulls out the excess toxins in your gut, and it heals your digestive tract. So resistant starch is really, really good for you. It's a really good thing for you. This is also, it has B vitamins, vitamin C, manganese, and, let me see. So, okay. Okay. Can you give me a spoon so I can taste it? No. Okay. From there, right there. Okay.
With the pounded yam, did you cook the yam first?
I boiled it. You just, So it's edible because it's like a sweet potato. Like you can eat a sweet potato raw, but to turn it into the dough, you just boil it, and then traditionally you mortar and pestle it, right? Or you can use a food processor or a kitchen stand because it will wear out your food processor now. It puts a number on it.
What's the nutritional value of this stuff, other than it fills you up?
So, ooh, let me turn this down, it's starting to burn. Yes, it is. That's what I'm saying. It has the resistant starch in it. It has fiber. It has protein. It has B vitamins, B2, B6.
So this is better than bread.
It's better than white potatoes.
But does it taste as good?
It has no flavor, and we're not seasoning it because it's not for that purpose. Oh, I wasn't talking and moving at the same time. I just want to make sure these spinach, okay, it's all cooked. That was defrosted. All right, y'all, looks like we're in business. I'm going to do a quick taste test to make sure that we're good. It's good. I just need a little bit of salt.
It's kind of like separate, and you use the Fufu.
I'm going to give you all a full tutorial. So we're going to pass it out. Don't eat it yet. We're going to do it together. And I'm going to show you how to do it. And then you can do your own thing. Okay, but at least you'll know the authentic way. I think it just needs a hair of salt. But I can't wait to eat it. And it needs a lot of spice. But
The African store there on the Old Panel Road, he would have the yams. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I got these yams from the one in Gastonia there's a Ghanaian store. But yeah, I don't know of any African market that doesn't have it. Let's say that, unless they're just happen to be out of stock. Okay. It's a staple. So.
Which is healthier, yams or sweet potatoes, in your opinion?
Flat out, I would say sweet potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah, sweet potatoes. They're different. They're not even in the same family. So it's literally comparing like an apple to an orange. They're just different. Okay, thank you. Okay. No, it was fine. It just needed just a touch more. Okay. Don't eat it yet. Let everybody get served, and then we'll eat it together. I guess I should probably have a plate then too. Is there an extra plate for me? Okay. Oh, you brought your own. Look at you. Thank you. I usually don't get to eat in class. That's fine. So I'll eat afterwards to make sure everybody can get one. Now I'm going to pass this out because we're going to eat with our hands, and everyone didn't just recently go and wash their hands. I have these little wipes that you can use. So pass this around. Okay. You take one and pass it. Okay. Yes.
Well, a lot of, when you go back into the southern tradition, which they say sake, where they would take the cornbread and then mash it, and you grab your greens and you eat it with your finger.
Because they're descendants.
So you see, we're descendants. That's how they brought, they brought that over.
That's a great parallel. I never actively thought of that. Yep. So we're going to taste those different flavors. You're going to taste the Egusi seed flavor, the Eru in the background, that fermented locust bean, that's hidden back there. And then you've got that pepper base that we are familiar with, all kind of coming together. And then normally like we would use a leaf, like the African leaves are far more nutritious than like the spinaches and kales here. I mean, they're super high in iron, super high in zinc. There's mineral powerhouses. So I would encourage you, if you do go to African market to buy some of these ingredients, that you do buy some of the African greens and reconstitute them and use them, because it is full of nutrition. Like it's not widely available here.
When you
Yep.
say African greens, you
Yes.
mean like greens as in collard, or
Like
greens
African
as in
spinach,
kale, or okay.
African, yes.
Okay.
They don't grow them here and sell them commercially. So either you have to get someone to send you seeds and grow your own, or very small places, or really large African markets like in Raleigh, those markets, they'll have the actual like leaves that you can buy fresh. But otherwise, if you go to the
And
market,
they call them African greens or African.
no.
kale
If
or-
you look on the recipe, I put the most common ones. So it will be like okazi, ugu, bitter leaf. But if you go to the store and you don't know, they'll help you. Just say, I want some African greens, and they're dried in the bag. Most of the time, they also have some fresh that are frozen. But all you have to do is reconstitute it or boil them, and then implement them. Some of the ones, the more bitter a green is, the healthier it is for you. It's more astringent for your liver, and you're not eating yet, right? I'm seeing mouths moving. Okay, everybody's served now. So now let's do this together, okay? So you take your dough and you form it into a ball. You just roll it around your hands, okay? Or you can do like that, but not a real person. You'll see a West African doing it with their fingertips, right? You make a dent in it, and that's like your spoon, okay? Now you take the soup and you scoop it, and only get as much dough as you think you can swallow. When you put it in your mouth, you want to attempt to swallow the swallow and chew the soup. That's the authentic way. Then your second bite, you can chew it all together and see what you think, okay? You do?
The texture of it doesn't turn me off. That's what I thought it was going to be like gummy or something.
Okay.
It's hard to do on both sides, but one side is tough. And I'm trying to choose.
Okay. It's my favorite. But the only thing missing are about 4 peppers. Yes, sir.
Let me tell you something funny.
Okay.
There used to be a club on 26th Street off of North Prime, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Liberians and Nigerians would go there. Anybody familiar with that area?
I don't know 26th Street. I know they had one right around the corner you can go to. Mm-hmm.
And, I was never used to the custom, right? And I would go in there, and they had stuff similar to this, and they were dipping their hands in it. And the first thing I said was, that's a nasty thing.
And I understand, because from your experience, it would be. Yeah, I get it. But now that we know better, now we're better, right? Look at that. Look at that.
I like rice anything,
Mm-hmm.
but I think this tastes better with this puff. I call it.
We would never eat it with rice. When we're in this environment, if we can't have access to pounded yam or the fufu flour, because they just don't. But to make it American friendly.
This is just
Yes. Well, I didn't know. I didn't know what y'all were gonna think. I was. What? Leon likes it? What? Kathy? You? Yes.
put that what is it? Jackfruit, like in soup or something.
I put it in this.
I know.
Oh.
Dr. Cole was telling her how to make a chicken soup. I said, maybe I can put it in jackfruit.
Absolutely. In terms of meat alternatives, people would tend to put, for the vegan community anyway, for the vegan Nigerians, they'll use like fried tofu, they'll use oyster mushrooms, they'll use jackfruit, then they'll use like soy chunks or seitan, which has a super meaty texture, or they just do it without it at all. But if you want that texture contrast, you can do that. So the pounded yam, you can call up any Nigerian or African restaurant. They have it on deck if you don't want to make it yourself. Making this is very quick. Like this boils for about 10 minutes. What you do, you just take the tuber, you slice it, and you take your knife and slice the bark off. Then I just make coins, slice it, boil it. 10 minutes, and when you put a knife through it, it should just come right out. And I just take that, drain it, pour it right into the food processor, and turn it on. And then I have about a quarter cup of hot water that I'll drizzle in as it's spinning, and then it turns into this. And it's not even 60 seconds. You got some more?
So I can eat my little last bite.
Hold up. Hold up. I'm so glad that the masses, the majority like it. I'm so relieved. Lord have mercy. That's good? Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah? Uh-huh.
A friend of mine made, makes curry, and then he would make the curry like with cornmeal.
That's the other swallow that we use.
And then we would make it with our thumbprint.
Yes.
I was at a restaurant, it was about 2 o'clock, there was nobody in there.
Uh-huh.
And so I was eating my curry with the bread, and I was eating with my hands. And the waiter came over and tapped me on the shoulder, he said, "That's the way my mother eats back home in India." He said, "Oh, you remind me of my mother." You know, that's how she.
That's a big compliment.
Yeah.
It's a big compliment. Yeah. So the gari that we use, we call it eba. Eba. So you would just take the gari, which is lightly fermented corn, and all you do is take that and put it in a bowl, put hot water over it, let it constitute, and then once it's fully constituted, you just stir until it's smooth, and that's it. So that's eba. That's a different type of swallow. Remember, these are called swallows. So this is pounded yam. You have fufu. You have eba. You have amala. You have all different types of swallows, and they're different to each country.
Different types of bread that we have.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Any good like Nigerian restaurants that you go to?
They closed down during COVID. The one that's remaining, you have to call her direct. She just does catering, or you have to say, "Hey, I want to order a family meal," and she'll make it for you. But she closed. The Motherland Cuisine was the last Nigerian place, and then on Sugar Creek, the Nigerian place closed during COVID. Most of the ethnic places closed during COVID. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Me, honestly, for me and Damon, 3 to 4. Scotch bonnet. And if Scotch bonnet's not available, then I would use habanero. That's the only thing missing. The flavor's good, it is missing that heat. Yeah. Huh? Because it can burn so easily. That's why I said it's not beginner. Because
Let me see.
oh, you already served the thing. I didn't even talk about it. Tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Oh.
Let me see.
Y'all tell me. It is? Okay, good.
The more you chew it, and it's almost like that lemon kicks in.
Kicks in, yep. They go well together, and it's so simple, but it's very low on the glycemic index, you know? You want something? Oh. Get whatever you want. Whatever you want. And I got your...
Keep it in there.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I didn't know y'all were to serve dessert already. So, thoughts. So you can eat that with some non-dairy ice cream if you want, you know.
And you know I have a super sweet.
It's just for you because it's not super sweet.
Very, very good. I'm
Okay.
pleased with, satisfied with the sweet craving and all that.
So it's something you can put together. It seems fancy, right? But you see, it was literally assembly. It was a pour, dump and pour and let it do its thing. It's no effort. So if someone's coming over to your house real quick and you're trying to do, this is something very easy to do. And it makes your house smell good too. So, all right, so thoughts on, so it seems like most people like the Egusi and the Pounded Yam. So that's your first experience. It's pretty authentic. What would be in the ones you would buy today at a Nigerian restaurant if you didn't want to make it vegan? Instead of the nori sheets, they would have dried ground crayfish for the fishiness. And then instead of jackfruit, obviously, typically they have chicken thighs, beef tips, gizzards, kidneys, and the goat is something separate. The main one would have this plus tripe. And then you can do it, other version you can do it with smoked fish, which is a thing in Nigeria. It's smoked fish and it's dry like underground and it's really, really, really hard and it's like a flavor. You can get it with smoked fish or you can get it with goat. Those are the three ways that it will typically be served with all the non-living animals in it. Or you can do it with, like I said, oyster mushrooms are really great in it. The jackfruit, fried tofu or baked tofu, soy chunks, the peppers got to be in there. But for our cameraman, you know, he does not like that, so I didn't want him sweating today. I need Rashida to smile, okay? Okay, so that way you know that, like I was telling them, the Nigerian restaurants we did have in Charlotte closed during COVID, unfortunately. And so the one that's kind of open, she's just catering she has a commissary kitchen that she's just working out of instead of having a brick and mortar. So, but there are no more Nigerian restaurants that I'm aware of currently that are open post-COVID. Yeah, now there's Mama G's restaurant off of Beatty's Ford. That's a Ghanaian restaurant. So Nigeria and Ghana have a friendly rivalry on certain things. So they have a slightly different flavor profile, but it's still very good. It is greasy, but he will do it meatless for you because we go there sometimes. His name is Sean. Seth, okay. He talks some all the time. But, yeah, so he will do it meatless if you so choose, or they'll do it traditionally, however you prefer to do that. Thoughts on the crumble, on the crisp? Is this something that you all would make?
Yes.
Okay. It's easy. Yeah, I just need some more blueberries in it. I underestimated the one bag, but yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. We finished a little ahead of time. Okay, so what are y'all's major takeaways from today in terms of either what you liked or what you learned? Jackfruit? Oh, you weren't here for the suya. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, we did jackfruit skewers, which is to mimic Nigerian barbecue. And so we did the suya is a spice blend, and we had that as our last class, right? Yeah. And they all said they liked it, and it was their first time having jackfruit. Yep, it's an easy replacement. Anything else you learned or take away, or any final thoughts? Rashidi, wasn't hot, right? Okay. Okay. I'll do what Kimberly said. I have to make a separate little one.
Separate the babies from the
Okay. I got Leon to smile, y'all, and say he liked it. That's a big deal. Okay. I'm so happy with that. Both. I was worried. Okay. All right. Anything anything you learned today? Everything. Okay. Yeah. Resistant starch. Eating with your hands is a health behavior if you choose to incorporate it. Yeah. So, yeah.
Are there many things that are resistant starches?
off the top of my head, it's not a whole lot. But it's highest in like potatoes, the potato family and the tuber family. But with like your traditional like American white potato, once you cook it or steam it, you have to let it cool completely before you eat it, and then it becomes the resistant starch forms when it's cooling. So that's the only like caveat there. Whereas the pounded yam is already has the resistant starch. Yep. That's it. Okay. Well, there are no leftovers. Okay. 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 Well, any other questions or comments before we adjourn? This is our last stop in Nigeria. Probably come back because I'm biased, but we're about to move into Southeast Asia next week. So any questions or comments? I think now you all have a familiarity with the flavor profiles of West Africa. Yeah. Yeah. So now you're exposed to that. So when you go to someone's house or you go to a quote unquote ethnic restaurant, you're more aware, right? So, and now you can incorporate these things in your own home because this is very easy to put together. And I only put this as intermediate because it can burn very quickly. So you have to be aware of that. So yeah.
What's the name of the market on Old Tower Road, please? I can't remember.
Charlotte International Market.
Okay, Charlotte International.
And that's Ghanaian as well.
Yeah, he's a friendly guy.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments before we wrap? This is your first time, so I'm glad that you're here and thank you for coming. Okay. Oh, okay. Heather, you didn't tell me. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here. Okay.
I always wanted to try the dishes with the
Pounded yam?
dough.
Pounded yam. Oh, you talking about fufu? Yeah. So now if you see the fufu challenge, now you're informed, okay? And if you're not aware of the fufu challenge, that like people went crazy with challenges during the pandemic when everyone was locked down, and they did a fufu challenge, and people were just butchering it, okay? So now for comic relief, you can hashtag Fufu, F-U challenge, and you'll see people's reaction to eating a Egusi soup with pounded yam or with fufu or with eba. You can see it. And now you're informed and you'll understand the treachery. Okay, you'll understand it. All right, y'all. Well, I will see you on next week. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Okay.